Hi, fourth graders. Welcome back. This is Mr. Steinberg. So today what I'd like to do is show you two methods of how we can multiply two-digit numbers by another two-digit number. I'm going to show you two different methods today, and then there's another video that I'm going to create to show you two other methods. So you have a lot of options when it comes to multiplying two-digit numbers times two-digit numbers. The first one I think can be a little confusing because of the words or the vocabulary associated with it. The first one is that's introduced in your lessons is using the distributive property and the associative properties to multiply two-digit numbers that end in like a numbers that have a 1 0 or a value of 10 or two zeros or a value of 100. So I hope this seems simple. So the example that I'm showing here is 43 times 30. First thing we want to do is you want to rewrite the number 43 in expanded form. So I broke it up into 40 plus 3 because 43 is the same thing as 40 plus 3. And then you're going to multiply both of those times 30. I didn't break up 30 into 30 plus 0 because if there's nothing there, you don't have to add it. So it's just 30. So that's expanded form. And then what I did was I distributed. So I'm going to take the number 30 and I'm going to distribute it or multiply it by both the 40 and the 3. So I rewrote it using my associative property. So I distributed by multiplying the number 30 times both of these, and I wrote them in the associative property form. So now we just have to find the partial products. And after we find the partial products, we just have to add them together. So the first one is going to be 40 times 30. So let's do that one first. So 40 times 30. Now this one may seem a little bit overwhelming because what it's really saying is you have the number 40 30 times. So if you wanted to, you could literally add the number 40 30 times and you would get to your sum or the product. But what we do know is that the number 40 is the same thing as 4 times 10, right? That's the same thing as 4 times 10. And the number 30 is the same thing as 3 times 10. Well, what do we know about 3 times 4? Well, we know 3 times 4 is 12. And what do we know about 10 times 10? Well, 10 times 10 is 100. And the number 100 has two zeros. So 40 times 30, or the number 40 30 times, is going to equal 1,200. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So we don't really actually have to go through and multiply 40 times 30 and multiply 0 times 0, and then 0 times 4, and then 3 times 0. We don't have to do that. You know that 3 times 4 is 12, and you know that both of them represent some number times 10, and we know that 10 times 10 is 100, and the number 100 has two zeros. So you can just kind of take that little shortcut right there. So I'm gonna remove this part now. Don't need it anymore. And now we can just multiply the other one that says 3 times 30, but I'm going to write it like this because it's easier when I have the larger number on top and the smaller one on the bottom. So I have the number 30 times 3, which is the same thing as the number 30 3 times, and you could add it, right? You could say, okay, I have 30, 30, and 30. That's the same thing, and you'll get 369. You'll get 90. Or if you wanted to do it similarly like we did the first one, you know that the number 30 is the same thing as 3 times 10. So you just multiply, and you know that 3 is the same thing as 3 times 1. You know that 3 times 3 is 9, and you know 10 times 1 is 10. Well, how many zeros are in the number 10? That's just 1 0, so it's 90. 9 times 10 is 90. So I can take this part away. Don't need this anymore. Now we have our two partial products, right? So we did step 3. Now for step 4, we just need to take 1,200 and we add our second partial product, which is 90. So we have 0, 9, 2, and 1. So 43 times 30 ends up as 1,290. But just to review really quickly, what did we do? First, we rewrote 43 in expanded form. So 43 became 40 plus 3. And then we multiplied those by 30. So what we did was we distributed, or we multiplied the 30 times the 40, and then the 30, right, there's times 40, and there's 30 times 3. And then we realized that, well, both of these numbers end in 0, which means that both of these numbers are something times 10, and we know that 10 times 10 is 100. Then you know that 4 times 3 is 12. And then the same thing for the second one. 30 is 3 times 10, so we know that if you multiply 3 times 3, that's 9, but if you have the number 30 3 times, it's really 90. And you just add those two partial products together. Okay, so for now, I'm going to move on to the next one. If you have any questions about how to do something like this, just reach out to me or to your homeroom teacher. That's fine. The next one is using an array. An array is kind of neat. You can multiply actually you can do any multiplication using an array, but if the numbers get really large, it's probably best not to use an array because it could take such a long time to create the array. But just as far as so we can kind of see a picture of what it looks like, it's very accurate. So in this example, we're multiplying 24 times 15. So what I did was I went online and I created an array because it would take me forever to create one like this and have it look so accurate and neat. So I drew a model where I have 24 units across and 15 units down. So I'm going to label my array on top. So I know that I have, there's 24, let me do a different color. There's 24 going across and there's 15 going down. And so what you want to do is you want to write them in expanded form. So we know that 24 is the same thing as 20 plus 4. And yeah, and then let me erase that. And you're multiplying that times 15, which is 10 plus 5. So I'm gonna try to use some different colors in just a second. So we know that 15 is the same thing as 10 plus 5. So we have 10 right here, 10 plus 5 on this down here, and then on top is 20, and that's plus 4. So let's see what it looks like. Let's use some different colors. So first we'll count 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So it's going to go right to here. So that's 20. And then over here is 10. So I'm going to count 10, 2, 4, 6. How's that? 2, 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. That should be 10 right there. So there's my first array. So basically, I'm just creating a rectangle that's 20 units by 10 units. And let's pick a different color now. Let's go with, I don't know, blue. The next one is, what do I have left here? I have 4 down here, and then 10 right here. So there's 4 by 10. There's my second one. My third one is going to have 20. I shouldn't use green, right? That's not a good color because the array is already green. Let's do that one. Oh, no, let's do orange. No. Yeah, purple. Purple. So I have 20 there. I go 5 down there, 5 down there. And across like that. I need one more to finish the array. I guess I can use, I already did red. Use black. I should have used that one to begin with. So I can go 5 across. Oh, sorry, 4 across and then 5 down. Then come 5 down. Okay, let me get rid of all of these scuffs right here. Okay, so I hope you can see what I've done. I basically created partial product, but I've also used a little geometry as well. So my first one up here, I have a rectangle that's 20 across times 10 down. So I have 20 times 10. The second one, I have 4 going across, and I have 10 going down. Down here, I have 4 across times 5 going down. And over here, I have 5 going down times 20 across, so 20 times 5. And with these, you can literally count them if you wanted to. You can say, okay, I have 20 this way, that's 20, and then 40, and then 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. Or you could just multiply. You know that 2 times 1 is 2. You know that both of those, 20 is the same thing as 2 times 10. And this is 10 times 1. And you know that 10 times 10 is 100. So you have an area of 200. This one is 4 times 10. So you have an area of 40. You have the number 20 times 5. You have the number 20 5 times, which is 100. So you go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And you have 4 times 5, which is 20. Now you can just take all of those partial products, the 200, the 100, the 40, and the 20, and just add them together. So you have zeros, you have 6, and 3. So we started with 24 times 15, and that's going to be, I believe it's 360. Like that. Okay, so that's I think that's enough. Just this area model will work for any multiplication problem you would like to try. Just remember that area models can take quite a while to draw, but they're still very valuable because of what they represent. They break things, you break things down into expanded form, and then you have your partial products all set up visually as large rectangles. And then you just figure out the area within each rectangle by multiplying and then add those together. Okay, I think that's it. Look out for another video where I show 2 more different ways to multiply 2-digit numbers by each other. Thank you, everybody.